Buying a house right now seems impossible for the average person like you and me. So I'm setting out to see, is it possible to buy a house off of Amazon, and is it a viable option for you? Let's talk. Buying a house in a nice subdivision like this one here is not easy anymore. Home prices have risen so much in the past 4 years that no one can keep up anymore. So that got me thinking, I buy everything off of Amazon, so why not a house? So I went to the internet and I started researching, and guess what? Amazon, they do sell houses. But are they any good, and is it worth spending your hard-earned money on a house from Amazon? And how easy would it be to find some land or anywhere to actually put this pre-built house? That's exactly what we are gonna go find out today and see, is it worth it? So let's head on inside, do some research, and see, is it a viable option? So the very first thing that I want to do is I want to walk you through what this process actually is going to look like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look on Amazon to see, are any of these houses any good? Do they look good? And what are the prices? Next thing we got to do is we got to find somewhere to put this thing. We can't just buy it and have it delivered to our apartment or job, right? So we're going to need to go out and we're going to find some land. Once we kind of do that, then we need to check to see how much permits are going to cost, what it's going to take to get utilities like electric and water to this piece of land. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the cost of everything. We're going to compare it to, let's say you go out and buy something brand new. Is it going to compare in cost to doing this prefab house? Is it going to be more expensive, less, or the same? So without wasting any time, let's hop into Amazon and let's see what these are looking like. Okay, so the very first one that I found, I think is actually pretty interesting. It's a 20 by 40 foot modular home that's a prefab. It's not huge, but it could be comfortable for someone looking to buy their first house. So from the pictures, man, this actually does not look like a bad option at all. It's got a shower, toilet, a kitchen area. It's not massive, but it's enough for, as you can see, 2 bedrooms. There's a bathroom. So, I mean, this could potentially be a huge option for somebody. And this is one of the greatest parts about this whole thing is if you finance it through Amazon, you're talking about only $588 a month. There's no house you're going to find right now for that cheap. And that's one of the biggest differences of something like this versus a typical mortgage. A typical mortgage is going to be 30 years with a whole bunch of interest. This is only 12 months, maybe even 24. Okay, now here's another one that I found for about $26,000. It has 1 rating, but that's probably from the person who's selling it. But I mean, for $26,000, it says, 3 bedrooms, 1 full bathroom, kitchen. I mean, it looks like a full house. This is not a bad layout. You got 3 bedrooms, a full bathroom, a living area. I mean, for $26,000, or as you can see, $1,200 a month for 24 months, that's not bad at all. And this actually looks pretty nice. All right, now here's another one. It looks a little bit more expensive. It's probably over the top. Most people probably won't get it, but just to give you guys an idea of what you can get for $35,000. And again, it's only $1,600 for 24 months as opposed to $16,000 or $2,000 per month for 30 years. This is only for 2 years. I mean, it looks super modern. The windows are big. This is actually something that you could copy on any of your rental properties or a house in the future. This is a nice design. The floors are nice. I mean, this is really nice. So for the sake of this video, let's go with this one for $26,000 and let's build it from here and see if it's worth it. Okay, step number 2, we got to find some land. Like I said, you can't just plop this thing down anywhere. So I'm going to use my local area to look for land. Now, if you live in somewhere where land is a commodity and it is scarce, like, New York or a big city, finding land is going to be really expensive, but this option is probably still going to be cheaper than finding something brand new. So I did find a good piece of land out here. It's right at 1 acre. And it's for $100,000. Just so you can see some photos, it's an empty piece of land. It's actively for sale and it's in a phenomenal area out here. This is a great school system. It's really close to one of the best high schools in the nation that produces a lot of NFL draft players. So it's a very, very desirable location. Okay, so we got those 2 pieces out the way. We got the prefabbed house for about $26,000. We bought this piece of land for $100,000. And let's assume that we are financing this land for $100,000. Now, because you are buying land, the interest rates are going to be a little bit higher, and the payments, everything's going to be a little bit higher because there's no house, there's no collateral that the bank can use to hold on to it. So initially, it is going to be a little bit more expensive per month, but not too bad. So let's assume that you get this land loan at $100,000. You don't have to put any money down. They do that sometimes. The term is going to be for a 20-year term, and the rate is going to be higher, probably close to 9% because of where rates are right now. And you don't have to include homeowners insurance because there's no house. So right now you're probably going to get a payment of right under $1,000. So let's say you finance the land and you finance this prefabbed home at the beginning. You're probably looking somewhere around $2,200 for an acre of land and a prefabbed house. But there's a way around that $2,200 a month payment, and we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now you have your land, you have your prefabbed house that you want. The next thing you do is you need to make it livable. So the first thing you have to do is you got to research all your permits for your local area. You need to figure out how much it's going to cost to get, utilities. You need water, you need sewage, you need all electricity, all that kind of things coming to the actual house itself. So this is where I would get with your local permit office, and I'll say, hey, I'm looking to get a prefabbed house. I want to get permits to make it, you need an occupancy permit. How much is all that going to cost me? Now, I've done something similar here where I've had to go through a full permitting process from a ground up, and it usually costs a few $1,000s, and it's out of pocket. You can't finance it. So just assume that you're going to have to pay, $3,000 to $4,000 initially to get all these permits and, make sure that it's zoned correctly, all that kind of stuff. Just assume $3,000 to $4,000. And usually this is going to be a multi-step process where they'll come out, they'll have multiple inspections. And again, make sure that they know that this is a prefabbed house because they may have different requirements. So if you have this 40 by 20 prefabbed house, that's going to be about 800 square feet, which is definitely a tiny home, but let's see what we can find that is on an acre, brand new, 800 square feet. And if it's not brand new, let's find something that's close to it, at least so we can get an idea of what buying something like that would look like right now. So I'm here on Zillow right now, and in my filters, I literally just said I want something between 500 and 1,200 square feet with about 1 to 2 acres. Nothing is brand new, that's for sure. I found 2 houses that are similar, 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,000 square feet. So this one's almost 300 square feet more, but it's $181,500 and it's not brand new. It's 1.5 acres, built in 1954. It is nice and it is renovated, but it's not brand new. That is very important. So this monthly payment would easily be right around $1,400. But here's the thing, you also have to add in PMI, which could easily add a few $100s a month to that payment. Now, let's look at what you're gonna do once you've bought this land, you fully improved it, right? You have that prefab house sitting on the land. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to the bank and you're gonna do a full refinance and what's called a cash out refinance. Now, if you remember, you bought this prefab house for $26,000 and you bought the land for $100. And let's say with another $4,000, you got your utilities and all the permits, so you're in it for $130. Well, I guarantee you that when you go to appraise it, this house on this land in this location is gonna appraise for $260, maybe more. And if you wanna go ahead and pull out a little bit of extra money so you can fully furnish it, get some nice upgrades, furniture, pull out $20,000, you can. So you're looking to get $150,000 out of this, which is super easy because it's worth $260. And because you have so much equity, you're not gonna get hit with PMI at all. So after the refinance is said and done, you've pulled out all that money, you've paid Amazon that little bit back, you've paid back the land loan to get rid of that high interest rate, your monthly payment is gonna easily be under $1,000 per month. And you're gonna have so much equity, you're easily gonna have over $100,000 in equity. So I think that this could be something that's very viable, but there is one last area that we need to talk about, and that's how do you find an area to live in, right? You wanna make sure that when you buy this prefab house, you buy the land, it's in a good area with good schools, all this kind of stuff, just for if you want to sell it in the future. So in order to show you exactly how to pick an area that is good, you're going to go ahead and watch this video right here.